Hey Cougs, a lot has happened since the last time I was with you, and we've got so much necessary and important political news to cover, so let's get started. But first off, local elections. On last Tuesday, Houstonians went to the voting polls to decide on two very important factors: who would be the next mayor of Houston, and if the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance will remain the law of the land, or at least the city. As we know, there were 13 candidates for Houston mayor, and as expected, there will be a runoff election that will take place on December 12th between longtime state representative and UH alumnus Sylvester Turner and former Kemah Mayor Bill King, who pulled in the top two largest percentages of votes. Now, even though the Houston mayoral election is considered nonpartisan, Turner, a Democrat, and King, a Republican, both stated that this election is truly about getting their honest messages about city reform across to voters. Given this, it is now up to these men to grab the votes that were given to the other 11 candidates in the general election. And how will they do that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And then there is the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance, also known as HERO or Proposition 1, which was defeated by a 61 to 39% margin on last Tuesday. Many equal rights activists called the result a blow in the face, whereas Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick stated that if Proposition 1 was passed, it would have been a stepping stone to defying common sense and common decency. Many have concluded that the repeal of HERO was due mainly to its reference as the bathroom ordinance, where opponents of HERO painted the hypothetical picture with such ads as perverted men disguising as women, entering the women's restrooms and sexually harassing or abusing women of all ages, especially young and innocent girls. But much of the campaign against HERO was led by African American pastors, and in predominantly black neighborhoods, HERO was defeated with almost 75% against it. But really, what was HERO? Proposition 1 would have banned discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, especially in city employment, city services, housing, public accommodations, and private employment. The ordinance would have also made prohibitions against discrimination that were already prohibited by federal law. Similar equal rights ordinances have been in effect in major Texas cities such as Dallas, San Antonio, and even Plano. But here in H-Town, a few forms of discrimination will continue to be legal, and ironically, in the most diverse city in the country, which is why we emphasize that all of you take advantage of your civil duty and vote. And finally, an update on the February 26th GOP debate. Well, unfortunately, it's not happening anymore. On October 30th, Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus announced that the GOP has suspended the NBC debate that was to be held here on campus. Priebus echoed the complaints of the candidates by stating that CNBC moderators engaged in gotcha questions that were designed to embarrass candidates. Now, there is a possibility that another network could pick up the February debate, especially considering its state proximity to Super Tuesday. But let's just cross our fingers and hope that all political wounds are healed so UH can get back on the map once again. And once again, remember that we want to hear your opinions, so use the hashtag CougConnect and get the conversation started. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at UH News. I'm Matthew Stell with at UH News. Your school, your story.